All right, we're live, and this is the season 4 finale face-off. And Walking Dead writers, this is how you do a finale.
I was thinking the same thing.
This is how you do a finale.
Mm-hmm.
There's Henry.
Here I am.
Hey, Henry.
Hey, Henry.
We just got started. Would it? And he's out.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, leave that as a cliffhanger for a year, really.
Mm-hmm.
Although Breaking Bad has tortured us, but they've done it the right way.
Yeah, they have.
Stupid thing
Hi,
ended
Henry.
because of, hey, stupid thing ended because
The
Well,
Googles doesn't like Henry tonight.
it's Fring's ghosts. I blame Gus.
But yeah, I was saying that to my roommate. I was showing him the title letters and how it all spelled out, and even the title "Click" they spell with a K because they can't spell it with a C or it doesn't work. So it's purposeful, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not it's going to be next week or next season.
Oh my God, guys! I watched this episode this afternoon. What we're going to talk about tonight? Oh.
Yeah, we was just talking about this. Note, Walking Dead writers, this is how you do a finale.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you do a freaking finale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still driving me crazy.
The build up to season 4 was Fring getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole build up, and they delivered in this episode.
Yeah, they did. This was amazing.
And you know what always struck me as really amazing about this episode is that after that scene, which is arguably one of the most epic scenes in the show,
Mm-hmm.
I remember looking at the clock and going, wait, they still have like 10 minutes. What are they possibly going to do? You know? And it was like, whoa, the whole way.
Yeah.
That was the perfect ending.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like you said, they killed him off pretty early.
A scene like that is usually one of the last things you see before the credits.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the explosive moment it was all building up to.
Yeah. It was. I mean, and this, oh my gosh, this one started out with a great teaser. You know, we see Walt going to the
It picks right off. It picks right off from the last episode. He goes right to Gus's car and gets the bomb.
But he's got it in a bag. I think it looks like a baby
diaper bag. Yeah, it's a diaper bag.
Yeah.
Diaper bag. I thought it was some kind of Gucci bag or something, Prada or something.
It was a diaper bag, yeah. And he goes in the hospital, and Jesse knows he's got the freaking bomb. He's like, "What are you doing with a bomb in the hospital?"
And Vince was like, he so wanted him to say, "Did you just bring an effing bomb into the effing hospital?"
Well, that's just like the earlier episode. Did you just drive a meth RV into the airport?
A meth lab to the airport.
Meth lab to the airport.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah.
And of course, and they each have their own reason, you know.
Jesse is agonizing over Brock. I mean, what's going on with Brock? And then when the cops come and say, this Mr. Pinkman, we need to talk to you, you know.
Oh God! And that's when they get Vince gives a shout out to Peter Gould and House.
Yes, the House shout out. Yeah, I saw it on House.
I just was so tickled when I first saw that.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I saw it on, I don't know, I saw it on House. Yeah. Then they said, I saw it on House or Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Referring to the ricin.
And then the only reason he gets off the hook is because it's not the ricin after all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Saul. Of course, they Better Call Saul. They did. Jesse did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then Walt breaks into Saul's office trying to find Saul.
Yeah,
That was hilarious.
Francesca says that he has to pay $25,000. Pay her $25,000.
Yeah, the $25,000 door.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll be right back."
Originally, she said 1,700, but then it was like
Walt offers 1,700, and
yeah.
she extorts him for 20,000.
Then she says, "I'm thinking 25." Uh-huh. Yeah, Francesca, aka Honey Tits. That's what Saul calls her.
I hope we get to see Francesca in Better Call Saul.
Oh, that'd be cool. And maybe Huel and QB. Yeah, how does
Yeah, we definitely.
Huel's still sitting on that couch.
We definitely need to see some of him. Man, that Better Call Saul was great, but let's finish up Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, what Walt did was he got Hector involved because he knew that Hector hated Gus with a passion.
Yeah, he did. And he remember he goes to Hector at the funeral home. He's like, "I know you despise me."
Well, he knows it because Saul and Jesse came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he says, "But I'm willing to bet there's somebody you hate more than me."
Yeah, because Gus, I mean, Walt basically to Hector is bottom of the list of people who he hates. Gus is number one. He killed his family, he killed his partners, and basically the cartel. And Hector despised him for that.
Yeah, he did.
But Walt knows that because Jesse came up with it, told Saul clued in Walt, and Walt came up with the idea that, okay, I'm not the biggest enemy.
Yeah.
He hates nobody more than me. So maybe I can use his help.
And, you have Walt Jr. and Marie trying to get Walt to come over there. And Marie says, "How many air fresheners can you possibly sell?"
And but Walt, was that last week? Last week that they were packing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They were packing.
That was last week. Yeah.
Yeah. So by the time this all happens, this is why Skyler knows, as she's asking, "Was this you?"
Yeah.
Because she figures.
Marie's trying to get help from Hank. Hank's like, what? Because he's looking at his computer. He's trying to figure out the stuff from the laundromat. He's still trying to gather clues about the laundromat.
Yeah, and that's when Gomi comes in and says, "Hey, Hector wants to snitch."
And Marie's like, "There's no way you're going. End of story." And then, quick cut to him at the DEA with Tia.
I know.
That was awesome.
What I found interesting was that he took his neck brace off.
Yeah.
Hank did not have his neck brace.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't. Before we get to that, Walt had to go to his house, but he didn't want to make it seem like he was too obvious. So he parked away from the house, had the neighbor. He said that he and Skyler were on their way to Santa Fe.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the neighbor go check. He said, "I left the stove on."
He used his neighbor as the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah.
And there were guys in the house.
There were two guys. Yeah.
He put his neighbor in danger. I mean, anything could have happened to her.
Vince Gilligan's mother, no less.
Oh, that was
really?
Yes, that's who portrays Becky.
That was Vince Gilligan's mom. Wow.
Yep, Gail Gilligan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now that would have been something, killing off your own mom in your own TV show.
Well, Martin Scorsese's casted his mother in Goodfellas and Casino. So,
So you're
and
establishing things here. He's crossing lines. He's using people. He's using innocent people.
he is.
And
He is. And
Becky
Walt.
is a good neighbor
Yeah.
who would never do anything bad to them. And uh,
And then Walt has to go retrieve the money, so he goes in the house. He hides in the crawl space because the guy is coming back. He saw their shadows in the on the outside.
Hmm.
So he's like, "Oh shit! I gotta get in the house. I gotta get in the crawl space." So
but
he
he
hides in
knows
the
the
crawl
house better
space.
than them. So
Yeah, he gets out through the ventilation shaft.
Yeah, that was a close call. And those was Gus's men too.
Yeah, so he
just to
knew that.
pay, just to pay Francesca for Saul's phone number.
Yeah. And then we get to the DEA's office with
Dia is not a word. Oh my god, that word,
oh
that
yeah,
line is so hilarious
oh
in
yeah.
like multiple levels because when you say it that way, well, yeah, in Spanish, dia means day, bitch,
Uh,
but yeah, DEA, hello.
yeah.
Have you ever heard of that? You know, and he
Yeah.
and he's got to act Margolis with just his face
Oh,
and his
Yeah.
he was
crazy
great.
eyes.
Yeah, he.
His face. I mean,
Yeah,
now he's in Better Call Saul and he's talking, but still, just
Not
that.
for long. That's what
yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Anyway,
think so too. I think so too.
yeah. So he's basically telling him
mm-hmm.
SUCK.
Because the whole thing is to be seen going to the DEA. The
Yeah,
assumption
Uh-huh.
is made he ratted Gus out,
yeah, because Gus's man is following Hank.
Yeah.
and Hector didn't give him anything.
No.
Of course, Tyrus has been keeping an eye on it on Tio also on Hector.
Well, that's what they were counting on.
Hmm.
And
Exactly how it was supposed to go.
he had him write FUC.
Well, at least he didn't. At least he didn't shit himself this time.
Yeah.
So.
And he's like, thanks, I can spell.
Yeah.
But what I thought was great was that when Walt was meeting with Hector, they was playing bingo,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
in Better Call Saul that he was playing bingo,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
but it wasn't that grand stage of bingo. This is like little bingo.
Yeah, but yeah, I remember he was calling bingo. That was
Hmm.
a great scene from that first season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Walt was like, "You sure you don't want to, change your mind about this?" And Hector just kind of he
Oh
didn't
no,
really.
he wasn't going to change his mind. He wanted to
No.
be the one to kill him.
Yeah, he
He
did.
wanted to kill him, even though it was taking his own life. At least he killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like he was going to recover and start running marathons anyway, so it
And
was the
Tyrus
time.
Tyrus is keeping an eye on it, and he was a Cutlass Sierra. We had a car just like that, except it was a little bit darker color than that car. The Tyrus
Nice.
car, yeah, we had a car just like that. Oldsmobile, yeah. I said, oh my God, we used to have a car just like that.
Hmm.
So they had a real nursing home location, a closed down nursing home. They had a real closed down hospital location.
Hmm.
And Vince was just talking about how great it is to have that because to duplicate everything that's already there is just ridiculous. And
Yeah.
they couldn't ever achieve that. The woman who sees Walt out from the window when he steps
Yeah,
outside,
was that planned?
it's not it's a closed down nursing home, or I don't know, maybe that's a set, whatever, but that's this woman is the way she normally dresses. So, I don't know, they must have gone somewhere and gone, you want to be in a movie? I mean, a TV show?
Because I thought that one might have been just improv right there. I thought she might have just been in the scene for no reason at all, and she saw the camera and just started waving at it. I thought that was
Hi,
improv.
hi, hello. She's talking to the wall. The wall's like, the wall's trying to keep her quiet.
Was that improv? Did they say it?
What?
That whole old woman in the nursing home, was that improv? Or was that scripted?
I didn't quite catch that, but that's just she just used her own bubbly personality, so I guess saying hi was not a problem for her.
Yeah,
And
that was that.
giggling, and that's what she did. She did. So yeah.
You know, of course, you had Tyrus going in there checking for cameras, surveillance stuff, and all that.
Oh, I thought he was so close to that bomb. I thought he was going to get caught.
Uh
But he didn't. But then Gus's pride took over him, and he wanted to be the one to kill Hector. And because Tyrus asked, "Do you want me to do this?" Gus is like, "Nope, I want to do this."
yeah,
Mhm.
And
It's a
that,
very Walt kind of mistake.
yeah,
yeah, it is.
and Walt basically inherits that mistake in season 5.
Yeah.
His pride's taken over in season 5.
Oh yeah, big time.
Plus, he's got to deal with, the backlash to having Gus's empire fall down. You know, things like
Yep.
hazard pay.
Yeah.
But they used a real explosion, which is cool. And, the music as Gus is walking across the parking
That
lot.
long shot.
Yeah.
That long.
I love that. Yeah. That was
shot.
great.
That was a great shot, Kim Ward. Vince Gilligan just directed the hell out of this.
He
They
wrote
called
and
it
directed.
spaghetti western,
Yeah, he wrote and directed this episode, and it was masterful.
And it's like you wouldn't expect to enjoy watching that long walk across the parking lot.
Oh, it could have been 5 minutes longer, and I would have just kept my eyes on that screen.
It was the editing on it was great. I mean, the editing, the camera work, everything. Yeah. The music really fit the scene. Wow.
And the music has this sort of heartbeat sound going throughout it here and there that, just really kind of, it's like mortality.
Yeah.
It's like heartbeats 1 minute, doesn't the next.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Dave Porter knows how to set a mood.
Well, that one they picked up from some German band. He had written something for it.
Oh, really?
But they decided that they said it just eerily fit perfectly with all of the recorded, the video that they put together after editing and everything, and it worked perfectly.
Well, their instincts were correct for sure. Yeah.
Very, very Western.
Yeah.
The modern Western. Whenever he gets a chance to do that, to remind you that that's kind of what he's doing. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. That was tremendous. And we have Gus saying, "So this is how you want your legacy to be? A crippled little rata."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gus is getting ready to pump the needle into him, but Hector made his first move, and
you have one last chance to look at me. You have one last chance to look at me, Hector. And then Hector gives him that look of rage, just absolute rage in his eyes.
And Gus pauses as he's holding it ready to administer. And pauses to try to read this guy another mistake within a mistake.
And Hector is, clanging the bell, which isn't working at that point.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, and Gus realizes, he goes, "Ah, boom."
Now, I wonder if that drug that Gus was getting ready to administer Hector was the same drug that Mike administered to one of the cousins back in season 3.
Ooh.
Because you saw Mike drop the needle into the hazard thoughts.
Yeah, I wonder about that myself. Yeah, could it have been the same drug,
Hmm.
which would have been something that would have been quick and painless,
Yeah.
essentially, and would have worked fast. Like a fast-working poison.
Hmm.
You would think, yeah, Gus would want to give him a poison that would at least make him suffer for a few minutes.
Yeah,
It probably
probably
suffer for
so.
a few, just as long enough for Gus to get out of there.
They could have done that. They could have like had it administered and Hector start to suffer some of the effects, but then hit the button.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it killed Hector, it killed Gus, and it killed Tyrus.
Now Gus, he got to live for a little bit longer.
Right, he walks out of the room,
Yeah.
half his face is like Two-Face almost. And,
Oh
He
my
is.
God.
He's operating on brainstem activity. There's no way he's got
Hmm.
any higher level processes. The fact that he takes a few steps, but because he's Gus straightening his tie, which to us would be a higher level kind of functioning thing, that's
Wow.
brainstem activity for him because he is just wired that way.
Yeah.
So meticulous, and it was just so Gus to straighten his tie. I mean, he probably wasn't even having a thought. You
Yeah.
know,
No, not
he
really. I
was
don't think
just,
so.
he was blank, and he just, residual energy, a few more signals from the brainstem, take steps,
Yeah.
straighten tie.
That was a great tease. I mean, you see Gus walk out there and you're like,
Oh,
how in
yeah.
the hell did he survive that? And then
Yeah,
the camera just pans around and you see half of his face gone.
yeah.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
holy shit.
Especially because he just walked out.
I know
Yeah.
that. They made it seem like he might have survived it. They really they gave you a sense of maybe he survived this.
But then the nurses' aides run up, and they're like,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh, that is how you do a finale.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
And they use the Walking Dead special effects teams to
Greg
create.
Nicotero was in the commentary.
Yeah. That's right. Greg Nicotero. Right.
Yeah. They called in Nicotero and another guy to do makeup.
Mhm.
And then between the makeup and the digital, and Nicotero is kind of joking, like, you can't really cut half a person's face off, you know. So, but yeah, they wanted something like really, really gory and effectively, like convincingly,
Mhm.
and so they're like, "Hey, Walking Dead." I
I mean,
don't think I was watching Walking Dead at that point, and I thought, okay, there's another shout out to them.
yeah, I mean, it only fits because they did their shout with the blue sky and the car.
Hmm.
So have Gus be the Walking Dead shout out. But that
Yep.
was just an epic scene.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's all about this next level because Heisenberg keeps going. Walt keeps going from one level to the next, and he has crossed over some lines here. I mean,
Yep.
a bomb in a nursing home. The bomb in the hospital was kind of stupid too, but it wasn't an overt attempt to hurt anybody. Poisoning a child, as we find out in the last shot.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
there was still some argument about it at the time, and it was like, no, there's no argument. Why do you think they focused on this plant
Mhm.
to end the entire season?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was so ambiguous. When we get there, we'll notice that when Walt does his cleanup, he makes a special extra trip to get rid of the Lily of the Valley plant, just to make everybody in the audience on the internet go, oh, okay, because people didn't believe it.
Yeah.
So after the bombing, we see Walt at the in a parking lot somewhere.
Hmm.
Oh,
And he
sitting
listens,
listening to the radio.
listens to the radio.
Yeah,
He
he's
hears
listening to the
about,
radio and he's found out that his plan worked.
yeah,
That only 3 people got killed:
right, yeah. It was the three. It was the three that
Tyrus,
he,
Gus, and Hector.
yeah,
He presumes anyway, yeah.
Hmm.
And he's relieved and he's very happy,
yeah.
satisfied.
So immediately, I mean, Jesse's been told by he's been freed by the police. He's told, that he's told that it wasn't ricin, it was something else. It was Lily of the Valley.
Hmm.
So he's outside. He's trying to get a cab. He's walking outside the police station, and they grab him.
Yeah,
They
Gus's
grabbed him.
guys. Gus's guys
Yeah,
grabbed him and forced him into the super lab so
yeah,
he can start cooking.
yeah. They did.
But
Yeah,
Jesse doesn't know that Gus is dead at this point until Walt comes in and says, Gus is dead. We've got work
we
to
got
do.
work to
Well,
do.
kills a couple of guys like it's nothing, like he's a pro now, and
Uh,
like he's Mike to the rescue.
Yeah.
Walt killed that one guy.
He killed both of them.
Yeah,
Both of Gus's guys.
And Jesse was like, whoa. He was a little scared of him at that point, but then,
I think
they had
this
work to do.
is the transitioning for like Gus, because Walt is just like Gus in season 5,
uh-huh.
with him putting the towel down when he starts throwing up, to the sit down with Lydia and him. I mean, he's
Uh-huh.
basically become Gus at this point in season 5.
He
Yeah.
definitely takes qualities from those people that he had, But, when Jesse tells Walt that it was Lily of the Valley, but he'll be okay, I noticed Walt seemed unusually relieved, and I'm still not putting it together. And this is like, when I'm watching it for the first time. I'm still not putting it together. But I'm suspicious. Why is he that relieved? Which proves one thing. He couldn't be sure.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't entirely sure it wouldn't be lethal. He was extremely relieved when it wasn't.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But before that, we saw them burning up the lab, and
That was epic. That whole montage of them.
he tells the workers, "Vámonos."
Yeah, it pulls the alarm and it makes it look like they have no idea why the alarm's going off.
Oh yeah,
And
that
Vamonos.
too.
But like Vamonos pest.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
coming up. That's coming up.
Uh-huh.
Vamonos.
And then,
But
then the
Walt and
the-
Jesse's relationship at the end has really been brought together again. It was broken up, now that it's finally together after Gus is dead. And Jesse basically questioned Walt. He needed to die.
yeah,
He needed to die. And Walt was like, yeah. They shake hands, and Walt and Jesse's back.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
I know some false pretenses, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Right now,
Yeah.
Walt's got Jesse back.
Yeah, that I think that was important to Walt to have that happen. And
But
let's
then he
see.
gets on the phone with Skylar.
Oh,
Yeah.
the whole epic. I won.
I
I
won.
won. That was
Yeah.
all he needed to say.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I hate that was the moment I hated Walter White. I was rooting for him all the way through this episode, and when he said that, I was so pissed. I was probably screaming at the TV. My kids were like, Mom, get a life. And I was like, I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. And we still hadn't gotten that last shot.
No.
And then he drives away, and he stops and sees, isn't it Gus's car still
Yeah.
parked there? with the Los Pollos air freshener or something.
Oh yeah,
Yes, that
yeah.
was before the last shot, which is really awesome.
And the song, Black, it's called. And it
Oh,
really is perfect. You know, something about going to that place that you can't come back and your whole world is black.
mhm.
Walt stepped over another line. He's really, I won. And I mean, one of the things about that, it was not just the I won, but it was I won, period. Not we're safe, there's nothing to worry about, nobody's after anybody,
Well, this
I
was a
love you
game to him.
guys.
This
It was
was a
more like
game.
me win, and
It was a
Skylar's
game
like,
to Walter.
what?
It was a big game to him, and he
Oh,
won
I
that game.
know it was, but it wasn't about um, being a winner so much as it was staying alive. And obviously, to stay alive, you need to be the winner. But the goal is to protect yourself and your family.
Hmm.
And you know, that being the goal, I would think your first reaction would be, "We're safe." And to him, it's more like the look how awesome I am, I won.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
mean, as a first reaction, I mean, you can have multiple feelings about it, but I think that spoke volumes. I hated him, and then that was before they zoom in the backyard, and it's like, what are they doing? Why are they going in? And then finally, if you didn't get it before, you see the little tag that says it's Lily of the Valley. And that was their way of telling us that not only had Walt done all that, but he did poison Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Lily of the Valley on the last episode.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing of what's yet to
Yeah,
come.
He
yeah, we
was
Bryan
more
saw.
like,
Cranston, Bryan
it kept
Cranston didn't
pointing
even
to
know.
him. The gun kept pointing to him, and he needed an alternative.
Yep.
And the alternative, oh, Lily of the Valley.
Yeah,
And I can make a poison out of that, and the
because
rest is history. I did look up one thread about people discussing what he might have been able to do instead, and so far I'm coming up with nothing. Because
That was your moment,
it's all
Alan.
that they had to use somebody that Jesse cared about and
Hmm.
make him think it's Gus. He had to, and make him think it's Gus and blah 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 blah, and Jesse get Jesse to want Gus dead.
Yeah.
I think he knew he couldn't use the ricin because the ricin.
You're fading in and out. You're like,
Oh,
Oh,
it's
I
sorry.
don't know what
me.
you're.
I think he couldn't use the ricin because it was too easily traceable. But he could use something like Lily of the Valley, which would make it look like, oh, the kid just just ingested these what do you call it? These berries.
Well, and also he can't use the ricin because if Jesse says, "Hey, it's the ricin," then it'd have been looking like it was Jesse's fault that was poisoning Brock.
Right. Yeah.
So
This
he
is
couldn't
going to
use
cause
ricin at
even
all.
more problems for Jesse
Yeah.
going forward.
It
This
would.
whole
Jesse
thing
was right,
about,
and those cops had probable cause to say, "Hey, this Jesse could have poisoned Brock."
I
True.
also think it could have been more lethal.
Yeah, it could
Yeah.
happen too.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
So.
the
Yeah.
whole
Because the
thing
ricin
was
does get used.
just to temporarily make Jesse think it is the ricin, and Gus got it off of
Hmm.
him, and he used it, and so now he's on board. And then he'll find out it's not ricin, it's Lily of the Valley. But right now Jesse's in relief mode.
Yep.
He doesn't
It
care
was.
what it was,
It
as
was
long.
actually. What happened was it was actually when Hill patted Jesse down
Hmm.
Oh
last
yeah,
week. That's where he got the cigarette. That's how he
right,
got the
Yep.
ricin cigarette.
right. So Jesse is no longer in possession of this, and right now he's just happy that Brock's okay. But then he's gonna have to think, well, then what the hell happened to the ricin? And
Yeah.
that's gonna be pretty devastating stuff.
He went over to or Jesse, of course, he thought perhaps it was Walter, and actually now we find out that his suspicion was correct about it having been Walter, but what happened was Walter, of course, denied it, obviously.
Yeah, he turned it on him. He turned it
Yeah.
on him. He said, "Hey, listen, who's the one that uses kids? Gus."
And then he did.
Yeah. Right. So there was that element of it. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, this was, oh my God, this was a great episode. This is, yeah, the Walking Dead should take notes from an episode like this.
I want to start a petition. Hey, Vince Gilligan, why don't you start writing The Walking Dead?
Mm.
Have Peter Gould and all of them do The Walking
I
Dead.
just think The Walking Dead enjoys this team. They like messing with us. I mean, they keep doing it.
Oh yeah, they do.
I mean, it's becoming too much though. Way too much.
It's an addictive thing, you know. They just love reading how pissed off we are.
I think they're running out of some of ideas of what to do, and that's why they're repeating themselves.
No, they've got everything mapped out before them. I mean, they have a whole storyline written for them, and they can deviate. So it's not like
The,
the material's
the
not
problem
there.
is transitioning
It's
from.
the way they put it out. It's the way they, yeah.
But
Certain things should not be cliffhangers because they do have a whole new chapter to go into now. But
yeah,
True. Yeah, but this was a tremendous season finale. This
yeah, this is
was
how you do it.
it was amazing. They kind of they tied up all the loose ends from the previous episodes, but now it's like a now what? Now Walt is about to take control of the drug trafficking scene
Yeah, yeah. The
and the
question
meth
becomes
track.
now what? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Hmm.
oh, just so Anna Gunn was in this, and she was talking about how many babies they've got. They've had tons of babies, and Vince joked that most of them don't survive.
Yeah.
That's Vince Gilligan for you.
And we also saw the shredding of school schedules earlier in the episode. Francesca shredding as Walt broke in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we see Francesca in Better Call Saul. She's a great character.
Oh, she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
So.
seeing Spooge and Skank at some point too.
Oh, they got to be on there. They got to be like Saul said. He was one of the clients, so he's got to be a client at some point.
Spooge.
But yeah, Spooge.
Spooge.
And she's not credited as Skank in IMDb or anything, but that's how I credit her.
Oh yeah, those two. Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that dropped the ATM on the guy's head. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, the ATM crusher.
Yeah. Like, I don't like Breaking Bad because it glorifies meth use. Yeah, no. No. No.
The thing is that you don't see the characters doing meth. You just see them in the early episodes doing meth, but in the later episodes, I have yet to see anybody doing meth.
Uh,
I mean, Jesse hasn't even smoked meth yet. He stopped
right.
that. He quit that. So But Better Call Saul. Let's get with Better Call Saul.
Oh, yes. And this was a tremendous setup
This could have been
for.
a great season finale.
It could have been. This was
This
a.
could have been a
That's
season.
how good this setup was. This was a great setup for a
Again,
season
Walking Dead, take notice.
Exactly. This could have been a season finale. Epic.
It was. It was amazing. We see. Kim and we see Kim and Jimmy trying to get trying to get their building set up and everything. They're having to remove the dentist chair and everything.
But before that, epic teaser. Mike action.
Mm.
Yes.
I mean, that whole thing with the hose last week. What in the hell is he going to do with that thing? As soon as the teaser rolled on, we knew what he's going to do with that thing. We saw that.
We saw the ice cream. The ice cream truck.
Yeah, the ice cream truck driver
ran over the spiked hose. Oh my God, that was great.
Yeah, so basically, Mike, he stole from the cartel.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is that he did not kill the driver, and that really backfired on him because of that.
Did it? Because then he goes to a bar and says, "Drinks on the house."
And
almost
I think,
like he wants it out there.
Yeah, I think that was the same bar where he knocked Walt
It was
on
the
his
same
ass.
bar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was the same bar where Walt got his ass kicked by Mike.
Yeah, it was. It was.
But Mike, that might cause some issue.
Mike was wearing a ski mask. He was wearing a ski mask, so he couldn't be identified.
True, but Mike's going to get caught. I think Mike's going to get caught. There's got to be some repercussion because basically Mike got an innocent civilian killed because of this.
Mm.
He took a half measure and it backfired on him.
Yeah, the driver was killed because Hector shot him in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very true about the half measure. You're right. Yeah,
Mike's taking half measures in Better Call Saul.
And the only purpose for doing it was just to screw back.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't it wasn't a necessary task. He's just he's had his feathers ruffled by Salamanca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike these people.
He told Nacho that you guys are stupid. You guys is not as smart as you think you are.
Yeah.
And he's getting
Nacho was
trying to reach weapon there.
Nacho was trying to reach for his waistband. Mike's like, you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's so calm, and he just looks at Nacho, and Nacho reads his eyes and just backs off.
Nacho respects Mike. I think he respects him. But in that teaser, I noticed the gun that Mike had. That awfully looks like Tuco's gun.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was really big. That kind of looked like Tuco's gun.
I think it's going to do some damage to Hector.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw that Hector almost had a heart attack and he had to take some pills.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
That's when Mike was watching him. Mike was,
Oh yeah, must have been.
Yeah, that was like the day after he took the money.
He takes nitro.
Yeah.
Coronary artery disease, most likely.
Somebody said in the comments and on the internet that Mike is probably going to mess with Hector's pills, and he's going to have the stroke, and that's what causes Hector to get the stroke.
That's a good possibility. It's
because
a good theory.
They said that Mike can contact Price, because Price is the IT guy at the pharmacy.
Oh yeah.
Get Price pills, slip them to Hector, and Hector gets the stroke.
If Hector's on blood thinners, this is what you do, because he could be, and So you make sure that he's not getting the blood thinners. You throw
Mhm.
clots, you
Yep.
have stroke.
Yep.
Yeah,
Take
that's
out,
true.
yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And let's see. Of course, what's happening. Let's see.
Chuck and
Chuck,
Howard goes
Chuck
to
and
the
Howard Hamlin. Yeah, they go to this meeting
they get to the meeting, and
for
what
Mesa Verde.
yeah, and what Jimmy did last week was to screw with Chuck,
Uh-huh.
who is an epic he's a perfectionist. He doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah. So, and they're at this hearing, and they've got these two different addresses.
I couldn't even remember which address is which.
I know,
1216 or 1261.
I know. Yeah. It's like, Chuck's like, I know it was right when I typed it up.
Hmm.
So
And Chuck knew what Chuck knew
yeah.
what happened. He calls in Kim. Jimmy comes with Kim, and my God, that was just great.
What day
Great
was
scene
that?
with Jimmy and Kim and Chuck.
No.
Yeah,
No, baby.
he was accusing Jimmy. Of course, Jimmy was kind of blanketly denying it.
But Chuck was on the money.
Uh-huh.
Chuck knew what Jimmy had done.
And meanwhile, Kim put on a really good show
That was
because
epic.
she's got two views there. What she said to Chuck about him not being a good brother, she believes.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
as soon as they got in the car,
Oh,
Yeah.
Kim knew.
she also knew that
Yeah.
Jimmy did this because
Yeah.
Chuck is such a perfectionist.
Hmm.
Because that hearing was just
And
disastrous for Chuck and Howard. It really was.
mhm. And the thing is that Kim is right. Chuck never had any hardcore evidence that Jimmy had done it. Just
Yeah.
speculation. But what came out of that was that Chuck was talking about high school Jimmy, and he made fake IDs. Oh,
Uh-huh.
I hope they do that in season 3. I hope we see high school Jimmy. We saw
Oh
little kid
yeah.
Jimmy. We need to see teenage
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yeah. And of course, I
We need to
also
see.
hope they start the season with Gene. They start the season with Gene
Oh, I hope they do that too. I
in
mean,
Omaha.
it's been like a little tradition.
They need to do that at the start of every
Oh
season.
yeah.
Yeah,
Show us Gene. Show us a
shows
little bit of
Gene at
Gene.
every start of the season. That would
In
be
Oh
black
great.
and
yeah.
white
I love the way they did that too. The way they did that for the first two seasons,
Hmm.
and the really
absolutely
old
tremendous.
music.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And so let's see, uh, we have Kim and Jimmy are they're kind of there's a little bit of tension between them
Hmm.
now because Kim knows Jimmy did this to Chuck, and then she kind of makes an offhanded comment, well, you better make sure. Are you sure there's no evidence? You know,
Oh, well, Kim knew that
Oh
Jimmy
yeah.
didn't have everything covered,
yeah. So that's
so
when
come back.
Jimmy had to go back and say, "Hey, remember me?" And he
But,
had to
be,
try to
but
pay
what
the
I
guy
noticed,
off.
what I noticed in that scene before Jimmy went to bed with Kim was that he had a toothbrush. And when we first meet Jimmy and Kim
Oh
together,
yeah,
he
he
didn't
was
have a
brushing. He was using
toothbrush.
his finger. He was
Yeah,
using his finger. Yeah.
he had the toothbrush, and they even did a shot of it on which is great. I thought it was epic.
Yeah. And then he goes to the copy place, and he because he realizes there's a camera. There's a camera.
Hmm.
He says, "How much will it cost to get that VHS tape erased?"
Yeah, he covers himself really, really well. I mean, that would have been perfect, and then Chuck would have had no proof.
Yeah.
But the
Right.
thing is that
However,
he came right after Ernesto leaves.
mm,
Uh,
So Chuck knows that the guy said yes. So when Chuck comes back to confront him, dude was in denial.
And
And,
Jimmy was hiding across the street.
and oh my God, Chuck just basically collapsed and fell on his head and
He
bumped his head
pulled
on the
a
counter.
Ted, kind of. He kind of pulled a Ted.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
pulled it, and that was actually Michael McKean in that stunt.
Really.
He didn't want a stunt double. He wanted to do it himself.
I
wow.
knew he was going to hit the floor, but I didn't think he was going to do that on the way down.
Yeah, I didn't know he was
That,
going to hit the countertop.
that's some true commitment, from Michael McKean. Big. I
Mhm.
mean,
But
I like it. I like his work anyway. But
yeah, but
I like
the
his.
way the stunt worked, and I read this because Peter Gould did an interview, was that the head did not actually hit the countertop.
Well, I would imagine, yeah.
It
Can't.
looked like it did, but it really didn't.
Right.
Hmm.
Camera trick, yeah,
Camera trick.
yeah,
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Liz,
but yeah, just making yourself fall, even if you're doing it on soft green screen
mhm.
things, it's kind of hard to do. It's against our, you know, instinct to protect ourselves.
and of course you got Jimmy hiding across the street, wondering, should I go over there? Should I?
Mm.
He's sitting there saying, call 911, call
Yeah,
911.
he was definitely worried. He was
Yeah,
definitely worried. Um, Everybody's asking, is Chuck dead? I don't think Chuck is dead. I really don't.
No, we see hospital scenes in the preview.
Yeah, we do. I don't think he's dead.
yeah,
Although, what I like to see what happens is that this is the second time Chuck has been in the hospital. First time, the doctor wanted him to get committed. This is the second time. I think Jimmy's going
yeah,
to actually pull the trigger and commit Chuck.
Oh, because
Which,
yeah, he's got some choice to make.
yeah,
yeah. He does.
and which
And
is
it
going to
could be
make,
like that. It could be it could be that Jimmy is the healthcare proxy and makes decisions, pull the
mhm,
plug or
Yeah,
not.
mhm.
If
we
his
see
injuries are
Jimmy.
that bad.
We see Jimmy. Or we see Chuck. He's inside the coffee place. He's looking, and you hear this electric buzz
Oh yeah, the
every time.
close-up camera shots on Chuck,
Uh
him
huh.
spinning around and everything, that was epic.
Yeah, that was some great camera work and some great editing
Mhm.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and this was
this one
directed
was
by Peter Gould.
written. Yes, that's right. I think he wrote it too, didn't he?
He wrote it and directed.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
Vince Gilligan wrote and directed Face Off.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
and Peter Gould. I mean, Shane and I were PMing back and forth on Facebook saying this is great. Peter Gould did good on this one. Yeah.
he did. He does good. And
This could be the end of Kim too.
mhm. I mean
Not the
Yeah,
this.
I
end of
mean,
her life, but she may be done with Jimmy. Or
uh,
maybe they'll play that
Everybody,
out more in the next season.
yeah, I was reading on the internet as well. They said they brought up a good theory that Jimmy gets Kim debarred,
disbarred.
disbarred. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Jimmy is the one that gets Kim disbarred, and it takes a toll on Jimmy, and that's how he becomes Saul.
Hmm.
That's one of the theories. But
And it's an interesting theory.
but
Yeah.
I hope this Monday night they Jimmy gets Chuck committed, which would be some epic scenes in season 3 with him in the insane asylum, Chuck in the insane asylum. I think that would be epic.
And then we see Mike. He's trying to learn how to shoot a rifle. He's got this.
Yeah, Larson's back in next week's
Yeah,
episode.
Larson. Yeah.
Next week's
So
episode.
we see Larson. Yeah. And I'm
But
wondering if we're going to see a certain chicken
Hmm.
restaurant owner.
Oh, we can only hope.
oh, Henry, did you see that thing where if you rewrote the episode titles, it spells Frings back?
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
The first letters of each episode title
yeah.
are Frings back. And the thing about it is that this episode coming up is called Click
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
with a K. So, I mean, like, they did it so it would fit. It can't be a coincidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Gus is back.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be awesome.
But
See.
oh,
Oh,
and
by the
also
way.
his commercial they was filming for his commercial.
Yeah. And he said it was Rupert Holmes. Rupert Holmes went to the
Rupert Holmes,
school.
the Pina Colada guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he was
Yeah.
singing the song. Jimmy was
I
singing
knew
the
he
song.
would. I knew he
Oh,
That
would.
was great. That was so funny because he got that epic shot. By the way, I had that shot as my wallpaper. The shot of him in front of the flag with the camera pointing up at him. Oh, epic shot. I love that.
yeah. I mean, I hope we see that commercial Monday night. I mean, they were building up to that commercial in these last two episodes. The
They
payoff,
were.
the payoff. We better see a payoff, and I hope we will.
Oh, by the way, there is a new website. It's called TimeToCallSaul.com.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
And if you go there, what they do is they hook it up with your Facebook, and you can click on a number of petty crimes, and you click on it, and you put your picture on there. And it says, let's say you committed petty theft or you committed grand larceny. There's a little
Mhm.
thing with Jimmy saying, I got him off on this or this happened or whatever. It's funny. You got to do it. It's funny. It's great.
Yeah, but I can't wait for Monday night.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great season finale.
Any predictions for Monday night?
Well, you already heard my prediction. Like I say, I hope we see a certain chicken restaurant owner, you know, and maybe we will see Hector get the stroke. I don't know. Maybe we'll finally see how Hector's stroke comes about.
Hmm.
Maybe it'll be two things going on at once: Hector and Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they've been doing this season. They've been kind of split. They've been kind of dividing it between the stuff with Jimmy and the stuff with Mike.
Hmm.
Okay, so they're saying that Saul has to make a decision. So what if what's going on is you got these two characters both going through uh, you know, life-threatening medical crises, and on one hand you've got Hector making it. He's messed up, but he made it. And on the other hand, you have Jimmy going, okay, pull the plug if there's, you know, or he's brain dead or whatever,
Oh God,
That'd
that
be
would be,
interesting.
yeah,
Well,
it would.
in the clip for next week, there was a scene with Howard, and he said, "Jimmy, is this up? Are you doing this, Jimmy?" Because he had a piece of paper and he had Jimmy on the phone, so it's going to be
Yeah, he
interesting
did.
to see what's going on with Chuck. I don't think Chuck's dead.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think next week's episode is going to be directed by Vince Gilligan. And I
Oh,
think it might be
good.
written. I think it might be written by Vince Gilligan too. I'm not sure.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Because it'll be great if it's written and directed by Vince Gilligan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like nothing to watch anymore.
Well, now, are y'all gonna watch that new miniseries that's gonna be on starting Tuesday night, The Night Manager?
Oh, with House.
Yeah, with
Oh, I
Lorelai.
haven't thought of that one.
I forgot. I'm going to record that. I'm going to check that out.
Well,
I think that might be good.
Shane and I will have Gotham, so
Yeah,
we'll
I'll be
start Gotham.
DVRing that too.
Yeah.
I was watching The Path with Aaron Paul.
Oh yeah, that's on Hulu.
I've only watched one so far.
Any good?
Yeah.
I liked the first episode. I thought it was good, and
I think I
serious
mentioned.
role for Aaron Paul where he gets to show some range because he's good at showing his range, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I mentioned last week that he's in a new movie. It's called what did I say that movie was called?
Oh, with Daryl.
Yeah.
No, that's 999. No, he's in another one, which was with Helen Mirren. Eye in the Sky. That's it. Eye in the Sky. Yeah,
Hmm.
Eye in the
Yeah.
Sky. He's in that also. That was released in England last year. It's being released in the States here. I think it's this weekend. I believe is released here in the States. New movie with Aaron Paul. Yeah, I saw the preview. I said, "There's Jesse."
All right, guys, I'm gonna poop out on you.
Okay.
Alright, let's see here. Next week, let's do the we're gonna do a break. So basically, after Better Call Saul and episode 1 of season 5, we'll do a break
Okay.
and come
Okay,
back.
so we'll do next week and then take a break.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we'll be back in October.
Oh,
Okay.
we're gonna wait that long, huh?
We're gonna wait for that long to
Ah,
do the rest of season 5.
cliffhangers.
Sounds
At
good.
least it's and plus we're gonna do that probably the week right after the week of The Walking Dead when it comes back, so we can
Yeah.
see if it's an epic fail or not.
Oh, I'm sure they'll suck us back in. It's just the fact that they've tortured us that I can't handle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, alright, so next week is going to be the first episode of Season 5 and the last
Season
episode of Better
finale.
Call Saul.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
Alright.
right, you guys.
Have a
You
good
have a good
one.
night.
Good night.